Hello YouTubers, and welcome to another episode of Let's Build Disneyland. In this episode, we're actually going to be starting to work on the stores and such down the street of Main Street. We're going to go about halfway down the street where both sides of the Main Street get cut off by side streets. Right, we're going to be starting with the Main Street Emporium, and here I'm using a lot of brick and stained clay and such to try and get a more clean feel to it. Also, just the colors are also nice as well. So here I'm working on the windows for the center tower. Constantly going back, messing with things, trying to make things more detailed and such. I used cyan stained clay for the roof, giving it kind of a nice gray texture. I wish that the stained clay had stairs and slabs to go along with it, because that would make things a lot nicer, especially with the roofs. But I have to do it that way anyway. So I'm actually changing how the center tower is built, kind of, just a little bit. Thought it was a little weird the other way. So now you can't really see what I'm building, but I'm going to be flipping the camera now. And here I'm working on the center tower's main roof, giving it kind of edging with the quartz blocks. Now I'm going to be working on some of the side buildings that aren't really important, but putting them in there anyway. Using a lot of quartz blocks, sorry. And as you can see, the road is going to need a lot of adjustment because I can't really have the building on the road. But that will come. But I did that later. Right here, you can see I'm starting to adjust the road, but I'm going to be adjusting the road a lot during this video because I keep expanding, and so it wasn't exactly right. So now I'm going back on the back side of the Emporium, trying to kind of fill out this, the roof, just making sure everything looks good. And now here we're going to be starting work on the other side of the street. I don't even know what this is called. No idea what this is. I know in the game Epic Mickey it's the detective agency, but I don't know what it is in the actual Disneyland. I forget what it is. I know that the magic shop is somewhere nearby, somewhere in this building area. I don't think this is the magic shop. I'm not sure. I don't know. I used cyan wool for this because I was going to originally use light blue wool, but I decided that this cyan was just dark enough to make it nice. Using red stained clay as kind of shadows, overhang things, and quartz again. Quartz, I'm using a lot of quartz on Main Street. It's crazy how much quartz I'm using. You can see off in the distance the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I've actually torn down the entire inside ride because I'm going to be restarting it. Didn't really care for how it was laid out. Just haven't gone back and fixed it yet. So here again, more side buildings. Though I will be changing how it looks pretty soon, like about now. Tearing out the quartz and adding in light blue wool instead. It felt weird being that bright white. It was like neon white. So adding in more side buildings. Using light blue wool again. Here is actually kind of an interesting building. It has a bit of a story for me. It's just kind of a plain building, but what it has is it has a employee entrance to the backstage area of Disneyland. And the story behind this for me is that at one visit to Disneyland, I actually had my family was all wearing same colored shirts because we went there for a give a day, get a day. We volunteered a day at a local park to kind of clean it up a bit. And so we got a day at Disneyland, so we all had a huge family vacation thing. Well, they were celebrating that same thing at Disneyland at the time, so some cast members came up and asked me to, not asked me, asked my family if they would like to be in a mini parade, and of course we said yes. So at one point, so we went over into that area and went through that door into some of the cars and drove down Main Street all the way up to It's a Small World, with people lining the sides of the streets. I mean, it was just a parade for us, pretty much. It was really cool. So here I'm, again, working down Main Street. I completely skipped over another, with that store, I completely skipped over more building, more side building. Here I'm working on, I'm not sure, maybe this area over here is the magic shop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I haven't gone to Disneyland in so long. I really need to go. I've been dying to go, but we just don't have enough money to go. So pretty soon, yeah, now I'm working on the Main Street Cinema, and this is for those of you who kind of just skip over this kind of attraction. They actually show some original Disneyland cartoons, not Disneyland, just Disney Mickey Mouse cartoons. One that is always on, no matter what, will be Steamboat Willie, which is, of course, the original Mickey cartoon. I think it was also the first cartoon to ever have sound as well. We always try to go for at least like 5-10 minutes, just standing there whenever we go. So now I'm going to be working down Main Street, working on the Crystal Arcade building and the other building next to it, that connects to the Emporium. Again, using kind of these brighter colors. For some, Main Street has a lot of bright colors. It's very nice and clean and bright. It's actually kind of fun to build too. Hard, because I'm not really used to this type of building, but it's kind of fun. Because also you get like multiple different buildings, but they're all kind of lined up next to each other. So you kind of have to figure out how to make them all work together. Yeah, here I'm building the Crystal Arcade. Using a lot of wool, because again, the bright colors. I would want to use something that has a little bit harder of a texture, but wool is the best bet because it has that nice bright color to it. That's why I don't actually use a lot of the red wool, is because I have the red stained clay. Why would I want to use something that's like soft in feel? I forget what this building is, but it's a primarily brick building, as you can see, and it's gonna have, it's kind of like the town hall and the firehouse, in that it has a lot of it's primarily brick, but then with the quartz highlights. It kind of has the same kind of build to it as well. Again, you can kind of see in the background another one of the attractions. That one over there is the Haunted Mansion. That one actually, I still have the insides of it. Most of the insides I'm keeping the same for that one. I'm just changing things, updating things, etc. Now moving on, again, I can't remember what this place is. I should have a whole list up next to me. I know where to get a list of it. But this is kind of the corner building for this side of Main Street. By the way, after I built all this off camera, I went back and kind of did some changes. The streets weren't lining up as much as I wanted to, and I also missed a section of the Emporium, so I went back and into MC Edit, made everything a couple blocks wider, just where I would go back, fill it in, and hope that it would match, and I was able to actually match it closer. Not exactly as much as I wanted, but close enough. So this is kind of the corner street before we get to the first, the left-hand side. Oh my god, side street. There we go. I think it also has I think it's a Carnation Cafe. It's one of the cafes on Main Street. I forget exactly which one it is. I don't go to it very much, so. I don't think I've ever gone to this. I think I've gone to this one once in all my times of going to Disneyland. Once. It also has this little bit of a, I'm going to call it portcullis. I'm not sure what exactly to call it. I filled it in with coal blocks because it looked a little weird not being able to see like a door or something into it. So I filled it in with something. Just give it a little bit of a block to it. So now we're flipping over to the other side. I believe that this building is it this building? I can't remember which building this is. No, it's the next building over. We're going to be going into the Disneylana building, which I believe that building is the building that has a lot of Disneyland memorabilia. A lot more than some of the other buildings. In some of the Disneyland memorabilia from Disneylana is actually pretty famous and pretty coveted by Disney fans. I think I actually have one from that store. It's I believe the one I'm thinking about is actually a model of the Tiki Room. And it's pretty cool. We actually have that sitting out in our living room. My parents just bought that on a whim. It was pretty funny. Yeah, this is the Disneyland building. It's actually pretty tall and thick. It's kind of almost imposing, considering all the things are only one floor. At this point, you can't see me building the roof of it. Again, I wish I checked my camera angles. That's one thing I wish I would do more, is check camera angles, making sure everything is lined up better. Now, I believe what this one will be is the corner building for the right-hand side of the street. Yeah, I believe this one is. I'm starting off with the front part. I'm trying to use more of the newer blocks. As you can see, I'm using some of the new stone blocks at the bottom. Just trying to incorporate them more, because I still haven't incorporated very much of them. Still just trying to learn how to try and figure out where to put it. Yeah, and here I'm actually using I think it's the acacia wood planks. Again, just trying to figure out how I can use these new blocks a bit more, because these blocks would make things a lot more interesting, but I just haven't ever been able to figure out how to use them. I guess I figured them out here. I think the camera angle is going to change, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to see it very well. And again, this is like portcullis central tower thing. What's also interesting is that a lot of these buildings, especially the side, and the buildings like the Emporium, and I'm going to call it the Detective Agency, they are built on diagonals, which makes building these things a lot more, I'll say, interesting, a lot more challenging, because it also gives it a little bit more, I'll say, a chaotic feel to it, because you have to have things on an angle. So it gives actually more surface area, because everything is kind of jagged. But it does also make things a little bit more detailed as well. So here I'm going to be starting to work on the roof for this building. I was actually smart and changed the camera angle for this. Using the nether brick nether brick blocks as roof. I've heard from different people that they don't really care for nether brick, but I kind of like it. So there we have it. In the process, I also started working on the sidewalks. I put in red stained clay for the sidewalks. I was going to be using brick half slabs, but it just looked terrible. This gives a nice cleaner feel to it as well. And also, if you notice, the main street train station, the back of it is done now, and that was going to actually be this episode, but I had already recorded everything. I had rendered it. Everything was ready, and then I accidentally deleted everything. Yeah, I am smart. So you won't be able to get to see that, but you get to see it here, I guess. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give a like, favorite, subscribe, etc. Also, I forgot to mention just now, is that I actually have been able to figure out how to get custom thumbnails for these videos. So I'm in love with this stuff. I've been wanting it for years now, quite literally years. I looked into this like a year or two ago, and at that time, it could only be used by YouTube partners. And of course, I'm not one of those. And I'm not going to, because I have copyrighted content on my channel. But so now I can do that. So anyway, guys, give it a like, favorite, subscribe, share it, etc., etc. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a nice day.